I'm Jared Falk, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to count 16th notes. Now, hopefully you've already watched our how to count quarter notes video and how to count eighth notes, because we're going to be referencing back to those note values as well. So let's just reference 16th notes back to quarter notes, just because that's a really easy way to figure out the note values. So the way I have 16th notes written here in exercise 1 is 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. Okay, now you notice the quarter note in there. The 1, 2, did you hear me? Couldn't snap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's our quarter note. Now all we have to do is insert 4 notes within each quarter note. And those are 16th notes, okay? So in the time it takes us to play 1 quarter note, we can play 4 16th notes. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to play quarter notes with my left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to put in 16th notes with my right hand. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E, 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. So that's what you have to do. You just have to get comfortable with that note value before you even go through these exercises. Like hopefully you're sitting there, you're at your computer watching this video, or I guess at your phone or your iPad or wherever you're watching it. You're able to just, take with your hand and go 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. Because that's the starting point for learning 16th notes, okay? So let me play it for you guys. I'm gonna do it at 70 beats per minute with a metronome, and I highly encourage you to do this. There's metronomes online you can find. You don't need to pay anything. There's no excuses for not having a metronome. And I'm gonna do this alternating hands. So I'm just gonna go 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. Okay, here we go at 70 beats per minute. Within that exercise, I was actually accenting the quarter notes, just to kind of help you guys along and to hear how the 16th notes relate to the quarter notes. So it's really quite simple if you always relate everything back to the quarter note, and it just kind of blocks everything together and makes everything make sense. So let's look at number 2. Number 2 is actually where I will relate the 16th notes to eighth notes. Now, in the time it takes us to play 2 eighth notes, we can play 4 16th notes. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Now let's take this on the snare drum, and I'm going to alternate my hands again. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4E and a. If I were to count that exercise out loud, I would count it different than I've written it. I've written in all the E's and the A's for you. But if I were to actually play it, I would go 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4E and a. Just because it kind of separates the eighth notes and the 16th notes from you. But you can kind of figure out what works best for you. So the next exercise is where we're going to relate the 16th notes to the quarter notes and the eighth notes, and we're going to do it all within 1 bar. So let me just play this exercise for you on my leg. So we got 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a. Again, I would just count the actual note value. So for the quarter note in the beginning, I would just say 1, 2E and a 3 and 4E and a. Same for the eighth notes. I would just count 3 and. That's just the way I do it. And if you have a metronome there to kind of help you along, to kind of be the pulse, it makes it a lot easier. What you could also do is you could, tap your left foot. 2E and a 3 and 4E and a 1, 2E and a 3 and 4E and a 1, 2E and a 3 and 4E and a. So it's crucial to know how 16th notes relate to 8th notes and quarter notes, because when you're listening to music, you'll be able to listen and hear certain parts in a song and be like, that fill, he's using 16th notes, and then he goes to 8th notes at the end, and then you could just play it. I swear to you, it's as simple as that. And as soon as you start to be able to recognize these things, that's going to be way easier for you to do, all right? So let's move on to number 4. Number 4, what I did is I gave you an example of 16th note rests. So during the group of 4 16th notes, we can actually take breaks. And you'll notice on exercise 4, on the ah of 1, that's what a 16th rest looks like, okay? It's like an 8th rest, but one more little nub coming off of it. And so the way we count this is 1E and ah rest. You can go 1E and rest if you want. And then what I have is something unique and something I didn't learn actually for way too long into drumming, is I have a group of 2 16th notes and then I have an 8th note, okay? Now there's not necessarily any rest there, but I know the value of an 8th note is gonna span for the rest of that given count, okay? So we have 1E and, or it's on count 2, so we have 2E and ah, okay? So it's not, just because there's no rest there doesn't mean we play anything or we move right on. But that is an 8th note, so we got to give it its full value. Then we have on count 3, we're playing a note right on the 3, then we have a rest on the E, notes on the and ah, and then again, we have on count 4, which is exactly the same as count 3, but I just wanted to give you a different example of how you could see these things in sheet music or tabs or whatever you're learning. But basically, we start with an 8th note, and one 8th note is worth how many 16th notes? 2, right? And so we take the time of 2 16th notes, and then we end the bar with 2 16th notes. So let me play it for you guys on the snare drum, and then it'll all come together. Now count out loud with me, okay? Count out loud. It'll definitely help it all click in your brain and make it way easier. So it goes 1E and 2E and 3 and a 4 and a 1E and 2E and 3 and a 4 and a 1E and 2E and 3 and a 4 and a 1. Okay, simple as that. Now let's go on to number 5. And here we're basically starting to move the 16th notes around the drums. So I have a 16th note groove on the hi-hat. I'm just playing 2 hands on the hi-hat, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. Hand comes down to the snare drum, and then we go around the drums in groups of 4. Okay, here we go. And the final exercise is a 16th note fill with rests included all around the drums. So the best way to learn this is to just sound it out and do it extremely slow. So let's just figure out the fill. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. So that's the rhythm there. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Now we got the rhythm, let's move it around the drums. And that is how you count 16th notes. Next, I'd recommend you go on to 16th triplets, 32nd notes, quarter note triplets, 8th note triplets, and all that fun stuff. All right, guys, see you there. Oh, we are so jovial. Get me a new stool! I want a new drum stool. This one is crap. Don't buy this. This drum stool is crap, okay? It's a piece of crap.